Facebook and Twitch.
Oh, and Twitch.
Oh.
Ooh. When did we start doing Twitch?
A while ago.
Okay.
It's connecting the streaming software to go live. Okay, we're live on... Oh, and it's got the wrong... Hold on.
It's not Saturday, it's Monday.
Yeah,
Oh, the episode
and it's
number.
not episode 104, it's episode Some and Plenty. Let's see, backgrounds. Let's see if I can do this. Browse, go to downloads. How about that? Okay. There we go.
You haven't got a hat on today. It's all gone to pieces.
Oh, let me go get my hat. Okay, I just want to sort out. Okay, so Facebook's not working so nicely. It's not picking up my stream. So let me just start Facebook again. It says can't connect to the stream. Let's copy this, modify stream key, start. Should be coming through now. It's coming through. Should I go get a cap, or is the reflection on my head?
It's up to you.
Let me go get a cap. Give me 2 secs.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Woo!
What?
I'm looking up national days and how to celebrate Easter Monday.
Let me think about that one.
I think their list is rather short. I'm sure I can add to this.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hey, you haven't said that for ages.
That
Well,
used
that
to be
was
on my podcast.
Your podcast, yes. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Let's
No,
rock
I mean,
and roll.
If you're ready, I'm ready. Ready?
Yeah.
But if you're ready, then I'm ready that you're ready
Yeah,
that
okay.
I'm ready.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Not a Saturday podcast.
Yes, let's do it on Easter Monday. How to celebrate Easter Monday.
That'll catch out our fans.
Oh, that's crazy. Otherwise, all good?
Yes, nice long weekend. Yeah,
Mhm.
decent weather here. Definitely spring. It's warming up. Everyone's in a good mood because of that. And to punish us, we've got rain today. So
We've
good day
also
for
got rain.
podcast.
We've
Good
also
day
got
to be
rain.
indoors.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd be able to live in the UK because
It's not legal.
Yeah, I can't be there for too long. I don't know. I need sunshine and blue
Oh.
skies to.
Yeah.
It affects my mood.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be alone. There are millions that feel the same way.
And yourself, do you suffer from the cloudy blues, the grey blues?
It's called what is it called? SAD. It's called sunshine deficiency disorder or sunshine something,
Yeah.
which basically sets if you don't see blue skies and sunshine, you actually become more depressed. It is a thing. So how do I react? Yeah, I think in my early years in the UK, yeah, you pick up on the mood around you. I remember catching a train once, and it was like February, March or something, and it'd been grey for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw out the window this little crack in the cloud, and I could see some blue through it. And I was like, oh, I actually leant towards the window. Oh, wow. And I looked around me, and everybody else was doing the same, going, oh, it's coming. We're getting closer to this blue sky. Yeah, you get used to it, but still dislike it is the answer. But it makes you appreciate the warm sunshine even more. When I lived in South Africa, I used to love rainy days because it was a change of the routine.
Yeah, look, I mean,
another day in paradise. Oh.
Yeah, look, I find the sound of rain and the thunderstorms or whatever, I really enjoy that. And it's nice to be inside and watching a movie or whatever it is, and it's the weekend. What I don't like is I just like that grey without the rain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I like that sound of the rain. I mean, I woke up this morning to the rain. Oh, that was great. I could lie in bed and have my coffee and
that's a good sound. Yeah,
catch up on my TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But now it's stopped raining, and now it's just grey. And I'm like,
well, it's all very nice to sit there and listen to the rain. I mean, that sounds wonderful. But what happens if a tree falls down and knocks your neighbour's house over? That's
7
not a
o'clock
sound
in the
that
morning.
you want to hear.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, you go, oh, dude, I'm still suffering from PTSD from that. I don't normally stress or get, that sort of adrenaline rush when things happen. I suppose it's natural to do that, but I mean, I don't feel like panicked. Dude, that morning I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And it's probably because I was in the process of getting it sorted out. Like, as in, I was getting quotes and all that to get the trees cut down because they had started leaning over a bit.
Yeah.
And they were starting to get close to touching the wall and all that. So I was like, oh, geez, because it had started raining on the Wednesday. And it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, still pissing with rain. And I'm thinking, yes, when am I going to get those trees sorted out? Yeah. Anyway, I just had a angst moment there as you relayed that story. Reminded
just to
me.
Remind you,
Thanks,
rain's
man.
not always a good thing.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And, the other thing was that, so a couple of weekends ago, we do this, on most months, we do this thing which is called the Sunrise Scramble, where we, go take it out, ride, do a bit of dirt and whatever. And on Saturday evening, on Saturday I'd seen Oleg, obviously, and I was like, oh, geez, I'm doing the Sunrise Scramble tomorrow. It looks like it's going to rain today. And he says, dude, don't ride tomorrow. And I said, because, I mean, I think he's a bit of a, he's not like, when it comes to that kind of stuff, he's not that adventurous. And I was like, no, I'll see how it goes and whatever. And but I had this in the back of my mind. And Sunday morning, I had to get up at 4:30 and I had to meet the guys on the other side of Joburg in Boksburg. And now we're going to do this dirt and we're going to go down to this place called Val, which is VAL, which is actually a very nice spot. I've been there before, so I'm looking forward to being down there. But I haven't done dirt for a while, so I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive. And it did rain, and yes, dude, what a disaster of a day. Because they got clay there, So it's very slippery, and it doesn't matter what you do, dude. It just goes pear-shaped very quickly. And it did.
So you had too much rain.
And it did. No, and it actually wasn't a lot of rain, and it wasn't
Just
that
slippery.
wet. But it was just in a certain area where there's clay. It was water. I hit it with my bike. I dropped my bike a couple of times. I hurt myself. I hurt my ribs. My ribs are still giving me a bit of grief. And, yeah. And let's just say I've got to repair one or two things on my bike. So it was an expensive weekend. Anyway, that's that. Yeah.
Still, you're glad you did it.
Yeah, I am.
Well, wait,
Anyway.
let's see how much the repairs cost.
Oh, no, I know how much it costs already. I'm not happy about that. But it is what it is. Yeah, otherwise, what's happening on your side?
This and that. Nothing major. We've got a whole bunch of holidays ahead of us.
Oh,
This marks the first May. We got 3 weekends of holidays this year. 3 bank holiday Mondays. Yeah.
that's cool.
So let's hope the weather holds out, because traditionally the UK gets punished for a holiday by having lots of rain. So let's hope it's dry. Not sure what else. I am starting to research the next holiday.
Ah, nice.
But then it dawned on me that we're on episode, what? 100 and not very
105.
much.
105. Not very much since the last time.
It's going to take us 2 years to get to the next centenary.
Oh, well, that's fine. Then you can plan
Start
your...
doing 5 a week.
Yeah, no. You can plan your... Are you planning your next South African holiday?
Yeah.
Or are we renting a Winnebago?
Oh, no, we're still in the planning stages.
Yes.
But I was just thinking, how much time have I got to plan? Because I want to be there. What sort of time of year do we want to go? What the road's going to be like? What the weather's like? Where are we going to go? And then I was like, hang on. We've got 2 years of podcasts left before we go. I got
we
loads
can always
of
make
time
it for
to plan.
150, you know. 150 could be the...
I don't put the
milestone.
pressure on now. I've
Yeah,
already
yeah.
taken my foot off the pedal.
Yeah. So talking about the best time of the year, I hope you realize how lucky we were when you came, weather-wise. Because, first of all, when I was doing my ride back after we had gone our separate ways, I stopped in Sabi. I went to go say houses to a friend of mine there in Sabi. He's got a adventure motorcycle training thing there in Sabi Valley, right? And he also organizes trips and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, I'll just, check as I ride past if they're in the office, and they were. So I stopped and went and said, how's it? And just had the thing. And they were like, okay, what you doing here? Where you been? Well, they knew I was going to be there because they had given me the tip on where to park my bike when we went into the park, into the Kruger Park. And he asked me how it was and how things had gone. And I said, we had done all the touristy things. Because, as a South African, to spend a couple of hours in Pilgrim's Rest is, well, the only time I've spent extended time in Pilgrim's Rest is when I'm up there and it's pissing with rain and we in the pub having burgers and beers.
Yeah.
Right. But, going with you guys, we want to go to God's Window, and we want to go to Berkslake, and we want to go to Blader River, and we want to go to the Berlin Falls, and as South Africans, I can always do that next time. No, not this time. So it was actually very refreshing for me because I didn't have to think about what the plans were, and B, not get over myself in the sense of, well, I've seen that before. I don't really need to do it again. But it was actually so cool to do. But when I was chatting to them, they said to me, because I said, we went up to God's Window. It's the first time in 15 years that I've seen it clear at God's Window. And the guy said to me, you do know how lucky you are because it's supposed to be pissing with rain at the moment. So I said, oh, yeah, no, yeah, okay, that's cool. And a week later, we had those heavy rains. And all the people were stuck in the Kruger Park because they couldn't get out because the rivers were flooded. So we were lucky. So
all the crocodiles got washed down to Nelspruit.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to have to, when you do your planning, we're going to have to choose
I think
a safer time of the year weather-wise.
I think maybe towards the end of winter. Maybe
like September, October.
Yeah.
August, September, October, probably the best time to go.
Less rain, less bush, so you can see stuff.
Yeah. And are you thinking of
cold.
Are you thinking of the camper van kind of vibe in the park for an extended period of time? Start at the top, work your way down to the bottom. Is that?
Well, I'm looking at both options.
Okay.
Because I was chatting to a guy who used to work for me, and I said, because I knew he flew from Cape Town to Skukuza and spent a few days in the Kruger Park, so I wasn't sure whether he hired a car or whether he just did the parks tours.
Yeah, what did
they did all the parks
what did
tours.
he say?
He didn't hire a car, he did all the park tours. So he, a bit like our night our night truck.
Yes.
Our leopard expedition.
Yes.
I mean,
that was
kind
good
of
fun.
makes sense, but that's not what I'm after.
Yeah.
Because
so what
I
are you
concerned.
after? What's your
I was concerned
vision?
because all the hire a car things, they've got this thing about don't drive on dirt roads. And I get it, because when you open the bonnet, you want to see a clean car.
Yeah.
And I remember when we took our car back after the tour,
it was a little dusty.
It was clean on the outside, but it was dusty right through the air vents into the cabin. Had dust in it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at, well, is that going to be a problem? Then in parallel, I've got this other group that hire out the ready-to-go 4x4s and trailers and tent on
rooftop,
roof and
rooftop tent.
fold-out braai off the back, yeah. But they're quite a bit more expansive than I would like.
What's that, like $4,000 a day kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I shopped around a bit more. But at the moment, I'm trying to just figure out options.
So I suppose the other thing
I could fly straight to Skukuza.
Yeah.
And then get a vehicle there and then go up and down.
Yeah.
But
listen, Jude, I hope you're including me in your plans, because I'm coming with, whether you like it or not. Sorry. If you would have me along with you.
We can put your bike on the roof rack, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because, I mean, the thing is, so listen, like, it's also a bucket list item for me. I've just got this idea in my head of sitting at a watering hole with no rush to be anywhere. And even if I'm having to work while I'm there, laptop, solar panels, battery, dual battery system, get to the watering hole, as the gates open, off you go out, get to the watering hole, sitting there with my camera and my binoculars the whole day, just with all my comfort
with your kitchen
stuff
ready to go.
Yeah, with your food.
Gotta be able to make coffee.
Yeah, food, coffee, all that kind of stuff. I've just got this vision in my head that I at least want to experience that just once. Just once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really would like to start at the top of the Kruger Park and slowly, and I mean slowly, work my way down to the bottom. So, I mean, what's the, from a work point of view, if you're working and traveling, or, because I mean, that's my goal, is to work and travel, is connectivity. So in South Africa, because I would like to test out the sort of theory in South Africa first of working and traveling. Starlink is definitely something that needs to come along soon, quickly.
Have they not sorted that license issue out?
Oh, geez, dude. It could, and I'm not joking, it could take 10 years for them to do that. And I mean, the thing is that, okay, so what's the motive? Are they, trying to protect the local ISPs, or what are they trying to do by, putting a hold on, issuing a license for them to be able to do this? Yeah. But, shh, don't tell anyone. But you can use Starlink in South Africa. Right?
Yeah.
So what you do...
A friend of mine who doesn't live in South Africa has it.
Yes.
Because I was asking about the performance.
Yes.
Because quite often, as we have experienced on this podcast, our broadband in this country is not what we expect it to be. So he's got Starlink as a backup to his business, fiber in the ground kind of thing.
Right.
And overall, I think the service is good, but it's not as
robust.
Robust, that's a good word. As we had hoped.
Yeah, sure.
But it still wouldn't stop me getting it for that kind of event that you described.
Yeah. I mean, you just want to check your email, and because I mean, there's a fair amount of stuff you can do offline. But so how you get Starlink to work in South Africa is you buy the kit overseas, activate it for roaming, and you can use it in South Africa.
Buy it in Mozambique.
Well, I mean, there are, yeah. So the African countries that officially have Starlink is, I think, Nigeria is one of them, and then there's another. I think there are 2 or 3 countries that have officially got it. It's landing in a lot of the countries Q2, Q3, and Q4 of this year. So I think maybe that'll put a bit of pressure on South Africa. But, yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time. And I mean, yeah. So, I mean, you've heard about OneWeb, right? Which is Jeff Bezos. I think it's Jeff Bezos' competition to Elon Musk's low Earth orbit satellites. So what I found very interesting is the cost difference between Starlink and OneWeb. I think Starlink is something like, call it $100 a month on average, because it varies in different areas around the world. OneWeb is $10,000 a month. Was it $10,000 or was it $1,000? Well, you know what their strategy is they don't sell direct to the consumer. What they do is they partner with ISPs in that area, in that country that they are deploying it to. Okay. And then they on-sell it to people. So I think the cost to the consumer is actually going to be less, but the cost to the ISP is X amount per month. Yeah. So we'll see what the
still.
I mean, OneWeb might even be an option. OneWeb might be an option in South Africa because that might be easier to sell to ICASA, because what you're doing is you're involving the ISPs. So you would go to a local ISP in South Africa and say, like whatever it is, Web Africa, whatever it is, and say, okay, listen, you can offer your customers this solution, satellite solution, and I buy it through Web Africa, and so you're actually supporting the ISPs, the local ISPs.
Yeah. As a consumer, I'm not exactly happy with that, though.
Okay.
Because they can throttle your bandwidth. I mean, back to old dial-up days.
Yeah, true. But listen,
you can only afford 50 rand a month. Well, in that case, you get throttled. You'll get poor latency. you're going to share with 10 million other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would foresee would happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, in South Africa, the only time that you really on a capped sort of package is mobile. You can get uncapped mobile, but it's costing you a couple of grand a month. But the standard internet, fiber to the home and whatever, everything is uncapped, unthrottled, unshaped, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Dirty.
So here's an interesting thing. So I've had my fiber now, I don't know, 4 years, maybe going on 5. I'm with a particular fiber provider, and then with a particular ISP, which happens to be the same as my cell phone contract. So I was on a 100 up, 100 down, and I was paying, I don't know, $1,200 or whatever a month. And so I thought, let me have a look around and see what the prices are like. So I see, I can get, for the same price, I can get 1 gig down and 250 up for the same price with another ISP. Okay. So how it works is if you cancel and go to another provider, there's a setup fee of $1,000. So it does cost you money to swap service providers. Then the other thing is that the continuity of the service. So the new service provider can't take up your unit until the other one has released it. So it's still on the same fiber provider, but you're just changing ISPs.
Yeah.
And what they have to do is, for you to be registered on their system, the previous ISP has to release the serial number or the device ID before the other one can take up. So,
sure.
And then I had this issue when I moved house that I was staying with the same fiber provider and the same service provider. All I was doing is moving house, and took them 3 weeks to set it up. I didn't have internet for 3 weeks. I didn't have fiber for 3 weeks, and my cell phone signal's shit in my area, so I don't even get 4G at home. And yeah, that was frustrating. And I said to him, how can it be so difficult? I mean, it's the same fiber, it's the same ISP. Surely all you need to do is just update something on the system. No. The fiber provider needs to come and inspect that the fiber connection is working. So I said, well, the fiber connection is working because the status light is green. So it's working. All I need is you to click the button and say, that device is now my device. 3 weeks, dude, 3 weeks. And they physically had to come out and have a look at the device rather than check it. Because, I mean, if you phone them and say, hey, I've got a problem with my fiber, they don't come out to your house unless there's a break in the fiber or there's a problem with the electronics on your unit.
I don't understand, because they can do all the quality checks remotely.
Exactly. So I was a little bit concerned about changing ISPs. So anyway, what I did is I took that information from that ISP. I contacted my ISP and said, listen, I just want to check. I'll start off by saying, what is the cancellation period? And I said, oh, by the way, because I'm looking at this because I've seen another ISP is offering this speed at that price, and that's attractive to me. So they came back to me and said to me, okay, I'll tell you what we can do is we can bump you up to 200, and we'll give you a 25% discount. So I said, okay, that's cool. So I'm paying 200 Rand less than I was paying for 100, but I'm on 200 now.
Are you
so I've
actually
saved
getting
money
200,
and I've
200?
got, sorry?
In your speed test, are you actually getting
I get 200. Yeah. And
Wow.
I upgraded my Wi-Fi router, and now I get 200 on my mobile device as well, because I wasn't getting that. I was only getting like 50 or 60 with my previous router, even though I was on 100 on my mobile device and my laptop. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Good stuffs.
Interesting.
So I didn't have to change ISPs or...
You didn't have to go
like
through all that pain.
No, I didn't have to go through all that pain, yeah. Good stuff. So shall we talk about Formula One?
Yeah, should we? I've kind of missed something
Okay.
before we get into the details of the last race.
Yes.
Because what happened to the China Grand Prix? We kind of missed one on the calendar now.
I think they cancelled it.
Well, they have cancelled it, but I just don't know why.
I think there was, I can't remember what the reason was, but I think it was before the season even started, they announced that the Chinese Grand Prix was going to be taken off the calendar.
So there was a slot open. They could have done a South African Grand Prix.
Oh, geez, let's not even
Just
go
saying.
there. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, interesting race
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah.
I 3 red flags, restarts.
Yes. Carnage.
Changed the whole dynamic of the race. Carnage.
Yeah.
It's like a sprint after a marathon.
Especially when you've only got 1 or 2 laps to go. Crazy.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't just call the race. I'm glad they restarted it. But
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
sure.
well, at least maybe it's a fuel issue. But why don't they just make that 3 laps? 4 laps?
True. Extend it. Yeah.
Make it a
Because they've
bit
got
more
time.
of a race.
They've got time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I suppose, you saying that at the beginning they know they've got 57 laps or 60 laps or whatever, and they've planned around that.
But if they've been tailing, on a yellow flag, tailing the safety car, are they using up as much fuel?
Probably not.
So they should have excess fuel.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, just analysis on the race. Oops, Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is not a good start to the season for them.
No.
I mean,
new
it's
team
gonna be
principal.
difficult to catch up.
They're having reliability issues. They're not on the pace. Crazy. Whoa, Aston Martin. 3 podiums in 3 races. Alonso back on the podium.
Vettel must be kicking himself a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah. So Alonso's got a smile on his face. Great. I mean, Mercedes is getting up there slowly but surely. They edging away.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need all these upgrades to come in and make a difference.
Yeah. What I
because
found quite
if it's just going to be Red Bull, they are so dominant. If nobody catches them, then they're going to lose a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
Or their sponsors are complaining because they're never on the TV because the cameras are always on the race behind them.
Yeah. So what this is what I found quite interesting, is that the conversation is now about, look at this, Mercedes, Red Bull are running away with it again. This is the Max Verstappen show.
The Max show.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. But dude, he's only this is only the second year that from a constructor's point of view that Red Bull is up there.
Yeah, it's true.
Verstappen is going theoretically on track to his 3rd championship, where many would say that, it's actually only really his 2nd because the first one he didn't deserve. Why are people complaining so early about it being dominated by one driver and one constructor? so early in the season. I mean, look at Mercedes. 7 years straight, they won the Constructors. Lewis Hamilton.
I think that's the point, though. Even since Senna's days, there was these years, or Schumacher, the viewership of Formula One just got tired of the same old kind of results, and people just stopped watching.
No, but
so they don't want to keep doing it. They love the sport, but they don't want to. They'd rather, if it's going to be like this, then they'll go and watch another motorsport.
But I mean, it's only the second year that Red Bull's like seriously on it.
I get it. Maybe it's because
only the second year.
Like Max.
And who's to say that they're going to win it at the end of the year? Maybe Aston Martin makes a dramatic upgrade, and all of a sudden, Red Bull don't have the edge anymore. I mean, we've three races into the season of the second year that the Red Bull as a constructor is looking dominant. And that's not to say that they're even going to achieve it. I mean, it's still early in the season. So,
well, let's put it in perspective here.
Okay.
After 3 races, Red Bull as a constructor standing have 123 points.
Mm-hmm.
Almost half, just over half of that, Aston Martin in second place. Less than half Mercedes. Less than half again Ferrari. After 3 races. So if that trend continues, and it does look like those cars are, I can see in the next 3 races we're going to end up with similar stats.
Yeah, and that's probably because Perez is up there with Max.
I would like to see Perez win some more.
Yeah.
That's partly because I'm not a Max fan.
Yeah.
Max this, Max that is the greatest.
Yeah, I must
just
admit,
been around longer.
I must admit, Max Verstappen as a person and whatever, I'm not really the biggest fan. I will admit that I have been a Max fan in the last couple of years, but partly because I suppose I like his driving, not him as a person. I think he makes some decisions in the moment that perhaps he shouldn't. He says stuff in the moment which he probably shouldn't say, or he reacts in a particular way, which I don't necessarily think is the best way to do it. But I like the way he drives. He drives aggressively. He drives he's competitive.
Absolutely.
He was Hamilton's only competition. I will also be the first one to admit I was never really a Perez fan when he was with, who was he with? Racing Point. I don't know, because he seemed to be complaining a little bit, and he was like a little bit, I wasn't really. But now that he's with Red Bull, and he's, I suppose, changed, maybe wrong to say, but changed his attitude a bit, and he's competitive, and he's got a competitive car. Now I'm backing Perez.
So how does he feature in your fantasy teams?
Good question.
Oh, hang on.
Wait, you can look at it. Do I need to make some changes?
Well, I don't know if I can see your teams, but let me just talk about, because we didn't have the podcast last week. So the results for our league. Oleg did not score.
Has he got a team yet?
No. And that's why he does not score.
It's just you and I this year.
So I had a good week. I tell you what, I was cringing on that second red flag. If the Aston Martins hadn't come back, if the rulings hadn't gone the other way, I would have had a rubbish week.
Damn.
Okay, so we have in first place for the week, Algie Understeer, 295 points. Second place, Algie Spoilers, 271 points. Bearded Fen won, 266 points, so not far off. But then I get 4. My auto-fill team that I haven't changed.
Yes.
Came fourth in the week. So all your eggs are in Bearded Fen 1 team. Let's check
All my
overall.
eggs. Yeah.
All your Easter eggs. Yeah, overall, Bearded Fen 1 is in third. That's your best team by 130 points.
Yeah.
230 points.
I probably need to make some changes.
200 points. This is the thing I don't like about this fantasy league is so what are you changing? I mean, you haven't got that much money to play with. So what, you're just going to gamble on who's going to try and get 8th place? You just swap between the drivers in the same team. It's not. Well, maybe I shouldn't give away my tactics here.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, let me see. Who have I got in my team one?
Actually see.
Why doesn't it show?
I can see your team.
You can see my team. So I've got Verstappen, Ocon. You see, this is my mistake. I've got flipping McLaren. McLaren. I thought that they were going to come back this year.
Well, they were supposed to. But
and then I've also got Ferrari. See, I'm an optimist. I'm like, I've got Nick de Vries there. I've got Gasly.
You got Perez in there.
I've got Perez in there. And then my last team, I've got Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Magnussen, Hulkenberg. I think I'm doing myself in. And then I've got Mercedes and McLaren. I mean, oh, God.
Oof.
Yeah, oof.
So you put your eggs in 3 teams' baskets.
Yeah.
Haas have not had the season they've had last year. But then that's Haas. It's up and down.
I thought that they had a good start. And I mean, Hulkenberg isn't doing too badly. I mean, he's doing a good job. I mean, for a driver that's been out of it for a couple of years. And I actually like Hulkenberg. I think he's pretty cool.
I must say that there's been a few times that I've tuned into the NASCAR races because it's on the same channel as Formula One here.
Okay.
We have a motorsport sports channel. So after the Grand Prix, they because of the time zones, they'll go to the NASCAR race, and that's where Grosjean is racing now.
Oh.
And Grosjean does all right. You know, he's. I'm not a fan of NASCAR. I think Formula One is better, but then I've grown up in Formula One, not NASCAR, so I don't get the point of run the same circuit. Anyway, the point I was going to make is Grosjean always used to have accidents in Formula One.
Yeah.
Including that one he walked out of a ball of flame.
We don't know. We don't know how he walked out.
So NASCAR, I'm watching this and going, I wonder if his legacy has followed him to NASCAR. And the 3 races I've watched, he's smashed in the last 10 laps.
Oh, no.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I mean, he's a liability.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a stage where he was there was a stage that he was a good driver, and he was, he was doing well.
He's a good driver. He's a good driver. He just has a knack for fender benders.
Yeah, something's happened there with these sort of mental. I've been watching this series on changing pace a little bit. Yeah, I've been watching this series on Netflix called Match Point. It's about the tennis circuit, and they've been following a couple of up and coming tennis stars. You know, the ones that are going to replace Nadal and so on.
Yeah.
Venus Williams and all that kind of stuff. Yes. And I mean, I've read Andre Agassi's autobiography. I mean, tennis is such a mental game. It's unbelievable. I mean, like, the people have the ability, no doubt, because, they can be 2 sets up against Rafa Nadal, playing like a flippin' demon, and then Nadal does something to unsettle them, and then their game goes pear-shaped. So, and I think all these sports are very much like that. But yeah, it's just, I mean, if you're into tennis, I would recommend watching it.
I remember I can't remember who was playing. It might have been a Ratilova, but it was a final of a major competition, and the two people in the final were the ones expected to get to the final, and it was kind of the legend playing the upcoming legend. So the one had all the was young and had all the shots and had the pace and had everything. But the other one, the older one, was kind of on the, starting to lose that pace, starting to lose the accuracy, but was stronger mentally. And it was very much, the game was won on the mental piece, because the older, wiser one knew that probably if I just played the game, speed against speed, accuracy against accuracy, probably going to lose. So she let the opponent win the first two sets, and then just put her all on their third set when they're getting a bit tired.
Yeah.
Put it all on winning those first three games, break the serve twice, so that psychologically, this person goes, I'm tired. I've just smashed the last two sets and I'm struggling here. What's going on? And it just carried on. She just played on that mental piece.
Yeah.
Playing the kind of shots going, well, you should have got that. I mean, at that top flight, it was just the collapse, the mental collapse, the speed of it was something to admire. It was a psychological game from the front, and she deliberately lost the first two sets to come. Oh no, one set. This woman, isn't it? Deliberately lost that just to get the mind games going, and that's how she won it.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
No, there's definitely tactics and psychological stuff that's on the go there. Definitely. Yeah, it's... Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to play my fantasy Formula One.
Come from behind. Well, you're in front, so you're going to have to fall behind first.
I'm gonna just go, it is what it is, man. I haven't changed my team. I didn't need to. If my autofill team is better than your best team, I don't need to do anything with my other teams.
That's not fair.
Well, hey, there's the rules, man.
Maybe I must go have a look at your autofill team and see. Maybe I can make some changes. Well, yeah, what did your autofill team look like? Perez, Stroll, Magnussen, Gasly, Hamilton, with a bonus on Hamilton. Ferrari and McLaren. Yeah.
I should have put the bonus on Perez, but I'm not changing the team. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Could have done better.
Yeah.
But, I have to leave it like it is. Oh, look. McLaren got 36 points versus Ferrari's 3.
So I see in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, my team one came first.
Yeah, but I mean, that was weeks ago.
I'm just trying
that was like a month ago.
I'm just trying to boost my morale.
I mean, take it where you can get it.
I know.
But that same team came fourth the week before.
Yes. Yeah. Unpredictable. Yeah. So.
What else is going on in the world?
No electricity in South Africa. Potholes.
Our potholes here are probably is right up there with yours.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Dude, they're starting to close roads in South Africa now because of the potholes.
There's some deep potholes here where you could lose your car.
Oh, really? And what's the story there? I mean, is it just lack of maintenance? Is the weather's been playing havoc, or what's happening?
I just think, and I'm not an expert, they lay a road and you expect, oh, I'll get 5 years, 10 years out of this, depending on the weather conditions. No, potholes back in that road in 6 months. So
Yeah.
they're not addressing the problems.
Do they
They're
just
covering up.
Yeah, do they just cover it and
Yeah.
they just fix a pothole, but they don't. So, I mean, that's one thing that I notice in Cape Town. When they do a road in Cape Town, it takes them 2 years to redo the road. But what they do is they dig down 2 meters and relay.
2 meters? Wow.
And relay the bed. Ding, 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 ding. And then that road goes for 20 years. I'm sure.
I don't know if they're using the right tar or what. I
Mm.
remember a couple of years ago, they dug up the main road through my town.
Mm.
And we knew this was coming, and it was noisy, it was night work, and it was painful at the time. But because I used to walk my dog along this road, so I could monitor the progress. They do a stretch, but they dig it up. They dig up whatever was there before, take an extra couple of inches underneath that, and then just do the layers. It's not 2 meters deep. Because then we get down to the old Roman road that it's built upon.
They might have to stop. They might find some artifacts.
Oh, that is a problem here. Yeah. I forget, years ago they found, because in the city of London there's not a lot of space to dig. So if you're going to build a skyscraper, you've got to put some heavy foundations in, and you can't. There's rules about the height of buildings in London, so they've gone to the east. But anyway, wherever these excavations are gone to put these buildings in, they've invariably hit, because what they're digging through is 2,000 years of history. So they always find artifacts, and part of the planning permission is everything grinds to a halt while the archaeologists come in and scrape around with their toothbrushes for months at a time. And these buildings just go on and on forever.
Yeah, I think there was a story recently in the last couple of years where they were redoing a car park or something in the UK.
Yes.
And they found some shit.
They found a king.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
They found a king in this car park. He was buried at what has become a car park. So, yes, they had to dig him up and relocate him with ceremony. But they found in London, they found a woolly mammoth.
Really?
And I'm like, yes. But I suppose Ice Age in those days kind of stretched down the UK. So, but he's just like, woolly mammoth on the banks of the Thames. What? Was this a zoo animal?
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I always wonder what it's going to be like couple of thousand years from now, or maybe millions of years now, that the future generations are going to be doing the same thing that we do now and be digging and find something, and they'll be like, what is this thing?
What is this? We keep finding them all over the place.
Yeah, like what do I do with this?
Well, they won't be digging up bitcoins.
They might be finding hard drives.
How do these people trade with each other? There's no coinage.
Yeah, there's no coinage. Everything's virtual.
There's the old I'll give you 2 cows for a sheep.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll find the hard drives and they'll think that the hard drives are the currency of the time.
Look at the size of this hard drive. I bet this was worth a lot.
Yeah. You find a little micro SD card that's like 5 cents. You find a 6 terabyte drive that's £1,000 or whatever. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so days of the year?
Days of the year. Well, it is, for those watching replays, it is Easter Monday. So a lot of people in the old legacy world the old English colonial world has today off. Not everywhere. So we'll skip that. It is officially National Hug Your Dog Day.
I don't have a dog.
But this is the danger. It does suggest you go out and find a dog and hug it. And I'm thinking that's just asking for trouble. What if the dog is like, who are you? And why do people keep hugging me? No, I've had enough of this. So it's also International Safety Pin Day. So maybe that's the solution. It's also National Farm Animals Day. So go and hug a bull. I don't know.
roll around in the mud with the pigs.
Whatever tickles your fancy. Right. It's Golfers Day, and I've had my second round of golf this year on this weekend.
I saw the pics.
There's pics?
Yeah, Dan posted, Dan
Okay.
posted something.
I really should go on to that F book.
F book.
The F book. All right, today in history. In 1815, Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies experienced a cataclysmic eruption. I think, okay. Yeah, it's in the east, another volcano, blah, 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 blah. However, it killed 71,000 people and caused a global volcanic winter. It was that big. That is a proper volcanic eruption. There was no flights that week.
Yeah. Sure.
What else we got? 1972, US, USSR, 70 other nations agreed to ban biological weapons. I thought that actually happened after the Second World War.
Yeah.
It only happened in 1972.
Jeez.
Interesting. That suggests then biological weapons were used in Vietnam and Korea and others. Yeah. Today, Paul McCartney officially announced the split of the Beatles.
Sure.
I mean, that was before our time.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years before our time. What else we got? The Titanic set sail from Southampton for her maiden and final voyage on this day.
Maiden and final. It's insane.
Birthdays. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal's birthday.
I was scrolling through Amazon Prime or one of those streaming services looking for something to watch, and I'm just like, Seagal, skip.
Yeah.
There was a time.
There
but
was
not
a
anymore.
time.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, now it's
yeah.
Now it's the same old slow motion block.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stephen.
Yeah.
Stevie baby, but he's 72 now.
Really?
What? He's 72.
If you had asked me to guess his age, I wouldn't have even come close.
That's why I didn't even bother.
Yeah.
72. Gosh.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old. Okay, and then the last snippet is today, on this day, in 1996, the fastest wind speed ever recorded, that's not in a tornado, was recorded on this day during a tropical cyclone, Olivia, on Barrow Island in Australia. Australia. It was 408 kilometers an hour.
Oh my gosh. You ain't going to fly a kite in that, dude.
Oh, how far? If you were in a hot air balloon, with the balloon, instead of being that way, would it just be that way with the basket trailing behind?
Yeah. Holy mother of children. Yeah, no, that's
quick.
Proper.
You couldn't overtake that.
No. Jeez. They must have created some
I mentioned
carnage.
Dan. I was at Dan and Shiv's place for a braai this weekend, and I mentioned there's a TV series on BBC which is about the Britain's latest aircraft carrier. So you get a bit behind the scenes when they've got new fighter jets, and there's a lot of things going on. And the one series is about them doing the trials, the sea trials, and making sure that everybody understood how the ship ran, and they've tested everything before it's launched in anger. So they went down to the US to do some joint exercises, and it's the same time a hurricane was coming through. So they got a camera in this kind of boardroom where all the admirals are sitting and the captains are sitting, and they're going, "Should we go or should we stay? There's a hurricane heading our way. So should we try and get out of its path, or should we actually just stay around here and test this boat properly?" And then you're like, jeez, because they're like, when are we ever going to be able to have extreme weather conditions to see if this ship will actually work? And they stayed.
And
they stayed. They were doing all sorts of things with the planes were doing constant cycles of flying and landing and taking off. They were refueling a ship from a refueler ship in this the boats are doing this in those conditions. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Well, it's so they guessed right. It could have gone on the other way quite easily. And this billion-pound ship would have just been in the bottom of the ocean, having a diving tourist spot.
Yeah. I reckon, I mean, I don't get seasick, but I reckon I would have got a little unwell. If nothing else, my anxiety would kick in.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
It's mental.
So how was the golf?
Well, that's all I got.
I mean, how was the golf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has
your game taken a knock?
It has, because I've been carrying these injuries that I haven't done anything about for so long, and I'm not using it as an excuse, but it is annoying because I can't hit consistently. So I need to sort them out. Need to sort it out. But yes, I didn't win.
Well, you're only playing against yourself, aren't you? When you're playing golf? Or is your golfing partner giving you some jobs on the side there?
There was three of us. There was another friend of mine from origins of the Benoni area. He takes his golf seriously. And he might be watching this. So
it's just a game. It's just a game.
So we all three of us played the game with a lot of options for improvement. So let's just leave it at that. We all had our worst game of the year so far.
Yeah.
Well, more practice required.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, there's a good incentive to play more golf. Right?
Yeah. Well, yes. I've also got to factor the Skakusa Golf Club into my next trip as well.
What's to have a rematch? Another round.
We'll get another round in because the greens need to be in play.
Oh, yes, of course. Because the next time you go there, it'll be the new greens.
Oh, they're open. They look good.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. I wonder if when Dan goes back and they'll go, We have down here that you owe us a putter head cover.
Yeah, I wonder if they found that. Some monkey in the trees wearing it as a boxing glove. Oh, shit. Yeah. No, listen, dude, that was a good trip. I really enjoyed that trip. It was
I mean,
pretty
Dan
solid.
And we're saying that, we could have done with an extra few days in the Kruger Park.
Yeah, but I suppose you didn't know when you were booking it. You don't know. And now that you know, you think, okay, I could have. So next time you adjust the plans.
Yeah, but next time I don't need to go to the north coast of
Natal.
I don't need to do that again.
Yes.
because that
You've
was
done
quite
it.
that was a whole day wasted driving behind coal trucks.
That's
Nice,
true.
Cape Vidal, lovely, St. Lucia, lovely, but I don't need to do that again.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Um,
So Kruger Park in Cape Town. Yeah.
well, actually, the other part I haven't done is that West Coast,
Ah, yes.
north of Cape Town, all the way up.
All the way up to sort of Springbok.
Yeah, I haven't.
Springbokkies. All the way up to
I haven't
Walvis
done.
Bay. Saldono.
Well, let's just go to Okavango while we're at it.
Yeah. Why don't you stop in Luanda? Go all the way north.
I don't need to go that far north. That would be silly.
Yeah.
It's quicker for me to fly to Luanda than it is Cape Town.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Give or take an hour or two. Yeah. I really need to get this working and traveling thing.
Well, on these rainy days, you should be doing research.
I am.
So what are you doing for the rest of today? Are you going to, in this cold, wet weather, are you going to go and curl up in front of in front of Netflix and TikTok?
Fortunately, there is nothing on Netflix to watch.
You've watched it all. Wow.
No. I mean, I like something that grabs my attention. I mean, I'm in this habit now. First of all, I battle to watch movies because I'm so used to this sort of binge watching of series and all that kind of stuff, and getting your kick in an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So I've got this habit now where I start watching a movie and like halfway through I'm on TikTok or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And these are following your rules of you only watch something of IMDb 6 and above.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not 6, it's 7.
It's 7 now.
Well, I think it was 6.9 was my 6.8, 6.9 was my lowest.
Okay.
6.5, right. I'm going, 7.5, I'm in. 8, definitely.
The problem I have with all this is I've seen all of those high-rated movies. So I'm ending up watching stuff again. I'm like, well.
Oh, the other thing that like those good movies that you watched 10 years ago. Like you've got this good memory of watching that movie. And then my problem is I make the fundamental error of going and watching it again. And realizing how the world has moved on. And then don't have that memory of that movie anymore.
Yeah.
So I try not to watch old movies unless I know that. Like Mamma Mia, I mean, I could watch again.
I used to watch. There's certain movies I will watch again and again over the years because I've got past that initial memory thing.
Okay.
Like Saving Private Ryan, I will watch it once every 10 years.
And they're still good.
I'm still happy with it. I know what's coming, but I'm still gripped by it.
Yeah.
But other things like The Big Lebowski is a classic movie.
Yes.
And I can watch that once a year, twice a year. Because I'm in anticipation. Here comes that scene. You see, Donnie? Yeah. This is what happens.
What, do you fast forward to that scene or do you watch the whole movie?
No. Oh, what did I watch the other day? I did. Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, we're going to go through this. I don't like the scene. Fast forward. Don't like the scene. So I ended up watching Wolf of Wall Street in an hour.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. But I suppose the other thing is that, the movies that you remember and what you remember is the way that it made you feel. Okay. And because I'm not really good at remembering, like what happened in the movie, except for those rare few. So often I can watch a movie again that didn't blow my socks off, that I think about it often. Put it that way, think about it often, or I can remember like that movie really was a good feel good movie or whatever, and then I can watch the movie again, and obviously half of the thing I don't remember, so it's good watching it again. So I mean, there are those movies, But those like
Yeah.
really, really good movies that I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back there. Like
No, I
Ferris
have to
Bueller's Day
be.
Off. It's not
Ooh,
Oscar winning. But if you were to ask me, listen, dude, if you're going to watch a movie, what's your favorite movie to watch? Is Ferris Bueller's
Ferris
Day Off.
Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's
But
Day
I,
Off.
how many times have you watched it?
Oh, jeez, dude, I probably lost count. More than 10.
When was the last time you watched it?
Probably about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because I watched it with my kids. Another movie I want to watch is Breakfast Club. I haven't watched that
You
for a long
see,
time.
that, despite the age of the actors in it,
Mm.
because they were young,
Yeah.
that was it was a classic because I mean, there's only one scene in it, right? This is one set,
Yeah.
pretty much for the whole movie.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to multitask here. Yeah, there's that's for me hasn't dated as much as Ferris Bueller.
Really? Okay, well.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller, because I watched it and I was like, oh, this is classic. I remember the scene. Yeah.
Mm,
And the way they got away with it all.
yeah.
And I've seen other things like they interviewed him years later. Oh, what's his name? Matthew.
Matthew Broderick.
And he was saying, no, this whole thing with the street parade, they just joined in. It was like that.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't as you expecting.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put the breakfast list on my list of things
Breakfast
to watch
Club.
when I'm the Breakfast
Yeah.
Club. When I'm bored and I want to watch something. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of classic 80s movies, and they're all aged now. They're all dated.
Yes. Yeah. Sad. But I mean, like what movies are coming out? Marvel and wow. Dude, I'm so over Marvel stuff. It's not funny. I want something that makes me think. I want something that for days afterwards, I'm still trying to process the movie. And there are not many of those movies around.
I'm surprised I haven't signed up to Disney to follow the Star Wars. I left it so long. I'm like, I'm so far away.
I started
All
watching
of
The
that.
Mandalorian the other day.
Yeah.
15 minutes into it, I was on TikTok.
Oh, well, that's just a common problem with you anyway.
Yeah, I've got a
But I think
TikTok
I would
addiction.
struggle.
I've got a TikTok.
Well, yes, you do.
Let's see how much time I spent on TikTok.
Well, you've posted some videos as well with your new
Yeah, but I mean,
fisheye
there's one
lens.
thing posting and then there's another thing consuming. Yeah. Just today.
I've been looking at this, talking about movies for this year,
Mm.
and I don't know what rating it's going to get. But the Barbie movie's coming out this year.
Is it animated?
No. Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie.
What?
Who else is in it?
So I'd have to watch that.
Will
I would
Ferrell's
have
in
to
it.
watch. I would have to watch that just because of the actors.
There's Helen Mirren, Will Ferrell, and I'm
Oh.
thinking, looking at this cast, and I'm like, this is not a kids' movie. Because I looked at this and go, oh, here we go, Barbie movie for kids. But I still don't know. I think it's not a kids' movie.
I don't think it's going to be. So just to let you know about my TikTok consumption.
Oh yes.
Just today, I've already spent an hour and 45 minutes on TikTok.
What time did you wake up today?
About 7. I think 7. This week, from the 2nd to the 8th, 7 hours.
Well, you've had I mean, that's effectively what, an hour a day.
Yeah, about an hour
But
a
then
day.
you know, you've had an Easter weekend with more time on your hands, so. Well, I've been looking at your fisheye lens.
Videos.
There's this one where you walk around. You look like a little miniature man.
Is that the one where I'm walking in the park?
Yes, you little man. You pass that woman and she just gives you this look, and I'm like, is it because he's that small?
Now the problem is that when you're walking around with that 360 camera, is that you've got to have it on an extended selfie stick so that you get that field of view, that perspective. And the problem is, like, everyone's going, like, you just ruined my video. Now I've got to do that again. Yeah.
You're not going to get away from that.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. But whereas if I look at other videos that people create overseas, no one even makes there must be so many people doing it. Because people don't even.
There isn't, though. Maybe they've done 100 takes as well.
Oh, well, I was seeing, well, I don't know. Do the people go to them and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be filming now. Please don't look at the camera, or what? Because I mean, if you're in a busy street and there's people walking past you all the time, it's not like, even if you did 100 takes, every time you do a take, someone different walking past. People aren't going, yeah, what the hell is that? So, like, for instance, like some of these, like, sort of dancing TikToks that come on my feed. I mean, the guy's doing one of these Michael Jackson beaded dances in the stadium, and you're looking at the people in the background. They're not even looking in his direction. They're eating their popcorn and looking around. And
but that could be the 100th take. So the first 25, they were like looking at it, and then eventually they're like, oh, I can't be asked this.
Sure, no, fair enough.
Let's have some popcorn.
Yeah.
But I like the ones on while you're riding the bike, and
it,
like, camera zooms around.
Yeah,
it follows. Yeah, it's
follows stuff. Yeah. So it's quite good in the sense that, look, I mean, the editing. So a couple of drawbacks. So with my GoPro, my biggest problem was battery life. Okay. So obviously they've done something, improved battery life for these kind of cameras, or reduce the power consumption or whatever. Okay, so the battery lasts a lot longer on this new camera. In addition, I bought 2 extra batteries. Though basically the package I bought was the camera and the battery kit together. So I got 3 batteries plus a fast charger. Okay, so battery life is not a problem. The biggest problem with this camera is memory cards. Right. Because it's taking 360-degree video all the time. So if I climb on my bike and I drive 20 minutes,
it's full.
Yeah. So for every hour of 360 video, there's 64 gigs. Right?
Ish.
Okay. Then you've got to edit that. Okay. So it's one thing if you've got a single view and you can say, well, okay, I don't need that. I'm riding down this road. I don't need that. I don't need that. However, now when you're editing this video and it's 360, now you've got all these potential views that you can use. And you're like, so you've got to watch the video several times to say, okay, well, what was there that I could take out? Okay. Then you've got to edit it, put it together, transitions, effects, or whatever. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt. However, that being said,
it gets you off TikTok, though.
Well, maybe I'm on TikTok more because I'm looking for tips on how to do this stuff.
Yeah, let's stick with that.
What's nice about it is that you could take one 10-minute video with, let's say there's a lot happening in there, one 10-minute video, and you could probably create 10 different short form videos out of that one thing. So there is that benefit. Okay, so that's it. Plus you're getting all these different points of view. So I don't know if you saw the one where I was leaving leaving, like when I did this dirt trip, we went to Fall, and when I was coming back, I had it on my helmet. And then my mate was riding next to me on his bike.
Yes.
And I mean, you get this like sort of nice sort of drone effect. Almost looks like, if you didn't see my bike in the video every now and again, you would think that it could be some
drone flying behind you.
Yeah, or a vehicle with a camera rig on it or something. So I mean, there is that benefit. The other benefit is that the app that comes with the camera on the mobile app is pretty powerful. But the problem is and this is what I find quite interesting, is the desktop app doesn't have as many features as the mobile app in terms of editing, right? Which is, I find very strange. And funny enough, I find that with other software as well, because there's this software editing package that I use called CapCut, which is actually owned by TikTok. And it's very powerful. And it's more powerful on the mobile app than it is on the desktop app. And I think what's happening there is there's a lot of AI in it. There's lots of templates that you can use on the mobile app. And so I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it easy for people to generate content quickly on a mobile app. And they're assuming, well, if you're going to be using the desktop app, you're more leaning towards the traditional video editing thing. So we don't really need to give you all the templates and the AI tools and all that kind of stuff in there. You've got all the transitions and the effects and the filters and all that kind of stuff and the editing capabilities. But on the mobile apps, they're a lot more powerful than the desktop apps. So on the mobile app for the 360 camera, you can take a video and you can just simply, you can edit it yourself, sure, no problem. And it's actually quite cool as well. What you can do is you can do this thing which is called snap edit. So I take a video, and now let's say I want to reframe it. Oh, fuck. Let's say I want to reframe it. So to reframe it, you've got to like go into the video, you've got to like scroll, and it moves the camera around, and you say, okay, I want this. So you do a keyframe, and it locks it there, and you do that for a couple of seconds, and you scroll somewhere else and do that.
Yeah.
With this snap thing, what you can do is you can say, okay, play the video. I want to snap it here. And you can use the viewfinder effect, right? So what I do is I stand there with my phone and I just point the camera where I want it to go. I move my phone and it moves the camera like that. So when I'm editing the video, I can go, okay, well I want this thing here, and then I want that view, and then I want to go up, and I want to go down, and then I want to go back again. So you can, it's very powerful. It's really cool. But I mean, the more you use it, the better you get at it. Then they've got the AI thing where you give it a video, and it analyzes the video, and then it chops it up, and then it gives you this effect. And then what it does is it does a lot of that sort of tracking stuff. So if it sees a sign, or a vehicle next to you, it'll highlight, it'll focus on that. Then what you can do is you create what is known as stories. So once it's done that thing for you, then what you can do is you can say, well, I can export it just as is, or I can export it to a story, and then you can modify it even more. And then maybe if you're just starting with videos, if you want to create a particular effect, they've got templates. So you just go to the templates, use this template, put your video in there, and it does the effects for you. And then they've got this other thing, the story thing, where auto edit in the story. And then you must choose like at least 3 video clips. And then it takes those video clips, analyzes them, tweaks it, does all the transitions.
Video GPT.
It is like that, yes. And this is something else I want to try and do, is I want to see if there's an online AI tool that I can upload a 360 video to, and then get it to do something. Because what happens is what I notice is that the auto edit thing, the AI thing, tends to do the same kind of thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's not like random enough. So if I do 3 videos, one after the other, using the AI, complete AI tool without any editing from our side, they tend to have the same sort of transitions and it gets a bit boring. But what's nice is that sometimes what I'll find is that it'll do like a pan and then it'll cut my face in half like this on the AI thing. Then what I can do is I can take that video it generates for me, I put it into a story, I go to that point, and all I do is I just make it pan completely to my face. So, you know, it is powerful. It does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. But sometimes it doesn't include all the bits that I want. So I'm still working that out. But it's good fun. It's good fun. I mean, I just realized I'm going to have to buy myself another hard drive.
Well, you got a 3D printer, mate. Crack on with it.
Yeah, I don't
and
think
on that bombshell,
yes.
should we end this?
Yeah, shit, we're still streaming.
Yes, mate. You're giving away all your trade secrets.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, well, that was fun.
Thanks. Oleg's really late for this one, though.
Yeah, I know. He just didn't pitch. Yeah, no, he's in the Drakensberg doing a hike.
In this weather. Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to know what the weather was like. I think he's getting back today, so
Oh, he's already had the good weather. He's done the hike.
Yeah. Anyway, so maybe this coming weekend we'll hook up, do our thing again. Cool, man. We'll chat next time.
On Saturday. Laters.
Cheers.